Welcome to Gloria Gab Live. I have with me today Kadie Black, and I just love this woman. She's with the Voices for Children, and the things you do and taking care of these kids is amazing. Before we start, I have to thank South Florida PBS, and I'm hoping I can get your kids to take part in this. South Florida PBS sponsors us week after week, but coming up, actually starting now, they've got the Pharaoh exhibit. It's an immersive art experience. And from what I gather, this one's even better than the Da Vinci one that they had. Anyway, it runs over, I think, through November. And I hope you'll take your kids because I think you'll love it.
Great.
But PBS is such an amazing resource in our community. So God bless them for all they do and the great shows they have coming up as well. So let's talk. You've got a big event coming up.
Yes.
And then you've got other programs you're doing, and I don't know what's more exciting, but if people don't know about you, you take care of foster youth.
We do.
But in a special way, you want to talk about the new thing?
Yeah, I'd love to. So Voices help stand in the gaps of the foster care system. So there's around 1,400 kids ages 0 to 21 who are in foster care in our community. Mm-hmm. And Voices helps to do all the normalcy, the basic needs, experiential learning. And then we also help to keep families together and kids out of group homes and foster homes.
Right. So to fund all this, you do a couple of events, several events during the year.
We do.
One of the big ones and the most fun one is your luncheon.
Yes, it's our Be a Hero luncheon. So it's on October 31st. If you're interested in joining, I actually brought a prop because it is
there you go,
a dress up event. And so we ask and assemble all the superheroes for kids in foster care at this event, and it's at the Lowe's. We're really excited, and it funds and fuels our programs. So it's a really important day for us. And then we have Give Miami Day as well coming up. So if people want to support, there's multiple ways.
Yeah. But this luncheon is one of the most outrageous, over-the-top luncheons I've ever been to. And it is so much fun. And it's like everywhere you turn, it's fun.
Yes.
And people dressed in costumes. So people are encouraged to come in costume, right?
Yep.
Yeah. So, and I'll get my Supergirl. I wear the same costume every year, but you change.
Yes. Well, no, I've actually done Wonder Woman in the past 2 years of this, and now it's going to be a new character. So we'll see.
Oh, so I can't tell what it is.
No, I don't think so.
Okay, and we'll see what Grant comes in.
Yeah.
So Grant comes also. So that's always fun.
Yeah. And, I think, again, we do really heavy work. Our kids have been abused, abandoned, neglected, a lot of trauma. And so this is just a fun way for everybody to remember what it feels like to be a kid. And that's a lot of what the joy that Voices brings to these kids is through normalcy. We travel with them. We give them core memories. And we really try to do a lot of positive childhood memories because a lot of our kids have had those adverse childhood experiences. So
you want to make sure they have some good ones.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And so you've got a trip planned to New York.
Yeah, we're going to New York in November. We're going to go to the theater. The kids are going to see a show. They'll have to dress up for dinner. We're doing all the bridges and walking, the High Line and the 9/11 Museum. We're there for 3 days, and I'm going to take them all you It'll be wonderful.
That's going to be an indelible memory,
Yeah.
And what a great idea.
Yeah.
And then, but you were telling me about this program that this developer, Cornerstone Group, was that it?
Yeah.
So tell us about it.
Yeah, so we are very excited because, there's a lack of housing for kids who age out of foster care in Miami-Dade County. It's a big issue. I know you just had out of foster here, right?
Yeah.
Kids that that are over 18 need some of that stability. And so recently, the Cornerstone Group, with the help of the Lopez Family Charitable Foundation, identified 11 units in one of their affordable mixed use. It's actually a mixed use 90 unit building, and 14 of them they designated to kids in foster care.
That's amazing.
And so we put all the furniture in, and we worked, and I think you're actually seeing it right now, our project home. So really excited to be able to help make these apartments home for these kids. So we did everything. They opened the door and they had it all. Toilet paper, hygiene products, but also all their furniture, dishes, silverware. We even set the tables for them. In some instances, we put pictures of these kids have kids. I don't know if you know, but 60% of kids who age out of foster care will be pregnant before age 21. So in this building, there are about 11 kids that live there with the kids. We have one boy who has 3 kids, and he's not even 21 years old. Okay. So we did cribs and toys, and we really made it so that they walked in and they not only had somewhere to live, but they actually have a home. So so this is one of our young ones walking in to the unit and realizing that everything was there that he wanted.
What a blessing.
It was such a, listen, it's so rewarding to do this work, but then to be able to do this and see them and see how excited they are for, such a bright future, this one, as well. So at the end of the day, right, we're working with these youth to make sure that they have that they stay and keep the housing, right? That they learn all the rules about this.
They learn financing, like budgeting, that kind of stuff.
Then all of the their education, we have individual plans for them, workforce plans. So the whole idea is to help wrap services around. So Voices is wrapping all of our services around them and then helping to get them to self-sufficiency. And it's great because we have this partnership with the Cornerstone Group and with the Lopez Family Charitable Foundation to help make this possible and help to fuel it as well.
My next show coming at 11 is with Iris Garcia with the Women's Voice Network, and they help economically empower women, children, whatever, that are victims of domestic abuse and human trafficking. Some of your kids would qualify.
Absolutely.
They give free certificate programs online, and that help them reach a certain level and be promoted at work, that kind of thing. So they have a livable wage.
Yeah, which is so important.
So you need to,
we need to connect, right? We all need to be together in a network. But yes,
that's what I love about doing this show. I keep finding ways to connect people.
You're a good connector. Yes, because the amount of kids that are human trafficked that come out of foster care, it is really scary.
Yeah.
And our kids that are in group homes and in foster homes are much more likely to become victims of human trafficking. So I was talking to you about another program that we are doing where we are trying to keep siblings together with a teacher, a neighbor, someone who is willing and able to take the kids.
Take it on.
The problem is they don't get any financial support for that child. Whereas a group home or a foster home, they start getting funds on day one.
Well, that seems hardly fair.
I know. And so we have been we are trying to educate our elected officials so that they know we are spending money in the wrong place, because it's an average in Miami of about $400 per day per child in a group home.
I just can't imagine.
And sometimes all grandma or the aunt or the teacher needs is first, last, and security to move to a larger place.
Right.
And so in many instances, we're able to help with food, with clothing, with bunk beds to make it a viable option for those families. We had an aunt, she took 7 of her brother's kids overnight. Okay.
Whoa.
Actually, she took 6 of her kids and she had 3 of her own. So they had 9 kids living in that home. Okay.
And how big was the home?
It was a 3-bedroom, but we put bunk beds. Yeah. So bunk beds. And then she unfortunately lost her job within the first couple of weeks of doing this.
Because she was overwhelmed.
Yes, because the kids were removed from their parents. So instead they were going to go all over the county. So she said, no, I'm going to do this. And then she was taking them to this school and having to do this doctor appointment and getting everything settled, and she lost her job. So we paid her rent for a couple months. And then we did all of the, ongoing help that she maybe needed. Sometimes she needed a little bit of additional food, but for the most part, she was able to make it work. And then they evicted her because there were too many people living in the home.
Oh,
Okay.
yeah.
So we helped her with first, last, and security to move. She actually did first. We did last and security to move into a different space. And we kept those kids out of the group home and the foster home.
Right.
So, for a fraction
Of the cost.
of the cost for one of those children, because, they were teenagers. So they would have ended up
given her for one of those children.
Correct.
She would have been able to.
Correct. And so I always say we're doing child welfare wrong. We're doing foster care wrong, right? We need to really be looking at how do we fund in the front end some of these things to help keep the cost, because the trauma that happens when they are removed and then placed with strangers and then moved again. And some of these kids have an average of 3 or 4 placement moves while they're in foster care.
And that's traumatic in itself, right?
Yeah. So in the length of stay, kids, on average, kids can stay between like 18 months if they're in a group home or a foster home, where if they're with a relative, it's usually around 9, 10 months. And so the length of stay is less. We're getting them out. They're not aging out of foster care. So there's a lot of benefits that, I think we as taxpayers need to be kind of asking, why are we doing it this way? Why are we not helping, some of the families?
And have you addressed it with the mayor and...
Well, this is actually on a state level. So,
it's on the state level.
It's the state level. So we're very hopeful. We continue to educate our elected officials to this. And, there was a bill last year that would have allowed some changes so that money could come earlier. It didn't pass. So, we'll continue to work at it. But, that's really where Voices is standing in the gap and helping to save taxpayers' dollars, helping to save, the trauma, and working with our system partners to kind of get these kids out of foster care. So.
Yeah. Well, thank God there's somebody as passionate as you are.
Oh, thank God Voices exist. I mean, it's a 40-year-old organization. And my mom and the mayor, and many other women got together to fill this gap, right?
Yeah,
and so now I just get to be the steward of it and help to continue. But we have the best staff. I will tell you, this staff that we have at Voices now is really spectacular. They're small and mighty and passionate and go above and beyond. And I'm just grateful that we get to do this together.
To work in your position, you have to have a passion for what you're doing. It's not a job.
Yes, or you'll burn out very easily.
Oh yeah, you'll burn out easy if you're not loving what you're doing. Yeah.
Agreed.
But we nonprofit addicts.
Yeah.
That's what I say. Well, I'm just addicted to nonprofits.
Yeah. I'm here to serve, right? Okay. And whatever that looks like. And I've, kind of over time realized that child welfare is something that I'm really passionate about. These kids are amazing, and really, it's not their fault what has happened to them. Yeah. And without those interventions, we're just going to see the same cycle, right? That same lack of hope that, and they will just continue to be those that are in
incarcerated
prison,
or whatever,
homeless. Yes, because the percentage of kids that come out of foster care that age out, and end up incarcerated, homeless, having arrests. It's really astounding.
But what you're doing is giving them an option once they age out, that you don't have that kind of have parents that are going to help you with first and last. You don't have anybody to fall back on. And when they've got you, and you've got people like Rudy out of Foster Foundation. His event's coming up this Saturday.
Yes.
Are you going?
No, unfortunately, I'm going to be. I'm on the Junior League committee, and so we're having a conference, and so I'm really sad that I'm going to miss it. But again, it takes a lot of community organizations to help support, and he's one of them, right? For the kids that are aging out of foster care. Citrus Family Care Network, they are the lead foster care agency here in Miami-Dade County. So they oversee all of the related services. Right. And then we have case management agencies. So there's a lot of us that, are doing this, and a lot of really wonderful case managers. So, again, I think you have to love this work, or you really, it's easy to burn out.
Over the years, you've done a lot of things with these kids. What is the most memorable thing you've done?
Oh, I really enjoy taking kids for their first time to Disney. There's just a magic that happens when they look at the castle, and they're, realizing that they're going to have just kind of like epic memories. And so that is my favorite, actually, thing to do.
Yeah, I can appreciate that because I remember the first time you go with your kids, it's like you're
it's
all
just
over
joy.
again.
Disney is joy. But the other thing that I really love doing is our Dominican Republic trip.
I was going to say, how about
this will
that
be
one?
my 4th trip this year, and it's exciting. We're working again with Blue Missions. You know,
you are?
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
I might be crazy enough to take kids out of the country and get them, their passports and their court orders, but I don't want
As
to
hot as
plan
Hades, right?
to
And
plan
it's
the
like,
trip. So that's why Blue Missions really is wonderful for us. It's a great partnership. We, pay for our kids to go through them. So.
And when you're there, what do you do? I can't remember.
So we build bathrooms. So we stay without running water. Exactly. So without running water, no electricity. And what I notice most is our kids really start to understand what gratitude looks like, even for the little that they do have, right? And
they find out there's people with a lot less.
Yes. Yeah. So it's a little perspective, but it's also that they feel good about giving. So when they're starting to play with the kids and they're starting to see that they're building the bathroom for this woman for the first time, something changes. And I watch it throughout that week just kind of shift for them. And so instead of complaining about how hot it is and, oh, you're going to make me get up early and we're going to walk, there becomes this desire to want to do it. And to at the end, they don't want to leave and they all want to come back. And I've watched them then come back to the U.S. and just, have a little bit of a changed hope and know that they're going to be okay, right? They are going to be, they do have something to give. And
I think it also gives them a sense of satisfaction in helping somebody else. But on the receiving end, for them to be able to give, like you said, it changes their perspective.
Yeah.
And then as little as they have, compared to most people, there are a lot of people in the world that are suffering a lot more.
Yeah. One of the great employees at our office, she always talks about how the kid used to say to her, I used to complain when I had mismatched socks and these kids don't even have socks.
Exactly.
So it's a little bit of perspective. And I never want to diminish the trauma that our kids are going through, right, while they're experiencing foster care, because it's a lot of uncertainty. It's not feeling cared about. Yeah. There's just a lot that goes into it.
Well, just the stress of not knowing what the next month holds.
Correct. And that it does a lot to your nervous system. And that's the other thing, when we spend a week with our kids, I watch them just relax. They know that they're kind of amongst friends and they create this support system amongst those kids. So, it's been great. And it's something we want to continue to do. We actually expanded this year to include a leadership program because our kids don't want to leave, right? And so when they do the kind of grow out of our program or age out of our program, they didn't want to leave. So this year it's a lot of money management and we're working with seniors to work on getting into college. Only 3% of kids actually obtain their college degree. So we really want to see more kids get not only to college, but go away to college and, get set up in their dorms and kind of be able to build those normal, college relationships that help them through college. And so that's one of the work that we're doing on our leadership side. So
what did I hear about? It's a program that people go to college together and they're a pod, or what did they call it? I'm trying to remember. But it was a way for kids that were going to a new college or any college, and it could be Miami-Dade, but you get your group of, people together and they experience everything together.
And they go together.
And they take their initial classes together and, so they bond that way, but also help each other out.
Yeah.
So they don't feel isolated because, going to college for the first time.
It's really, it's hard.
Scary.
We dropped a couple of our kids off this year specifically and, just checking in on them. How's it going? How's it doing?
Right.
One of them is like thriving. The other one's trying to find her way and, it's hard. So luckily there's actually programs embedded in most of our public universities, like University of South Florida has a wonderful program called the Pearl Program. Here at FIU, we have Fostering Panther Pride, and there's specific programs that are there to help kids who are either homeless or who have aged out of foster care thrive in college. And so those programs are really, really helpful for our kids as they kind of embark. And Miami-Dade also has a great program as well.
Yeah. So, we're fortunate that our colleges are stepping up and helping out a lot. Yeah. So tell me, so Dominican trip, New York. What else do you have planned?
We're taking kids to a dude ranch this year.
Oh, no,
yeah, so that'll be fun. I think
where's that?
In North Florida, and they have a ropes course and ropes course and some other things. So that's exciting. We're doing actually with our leadership cohort a leadership Disney course, and so Disney actually
that's a good one.
Yeah, so I'm very excited about that.
What do they call it? The Disney Institute.
Disney Institute. Yeah. So I actually went to Disney Institute.
You did?
Yes, I did the leadership course, and we loved it so much. And I think the kids are really going to get a lot out of it. And so we're doing that this year. We're doing the Therapeutic Wilderness program again. It's called Buffalo Cove. It actually was started by Nancy Hector and Berta Blecky, who are both here from Miami. So it's in North Carolina. So we'll be doing that with them. So we have a lot of wonderful, exciting trips planned in the coming months. Our college tour, which of course is also really, really critical.
When you do the college tour, how do you decide where you're going?
So we've done it where our kids get free tuition to any public university.
Oh, really?
So what we've started to do is one year we'll do Gulf Coast and, University of South Florida, and we'll go to University of
UCF.
We go to UCF, we go to UF. But this year we're also going to do the year before we did FAU. So we're going to switch it. So we try to get where we get to most in a majority of the schools.
So over a couple of years, they can see most of the college.
Exactly. They get that opportunity. And it's fun because we have a youth who went on our college tour, said she wanted to go to, FAMU, is now at FAMU.
Yeah.
So, it's really, that's what I'm starting to love to see these kids, be able to achieve those things that we want for them, that they want for themselves, that we can just support them through.
Yeah. Oh. She should have gone to, I had on my show Orange Blossom Festival or Orange Blossom Classic. That's historically Black colleges. And FAMU played Howard.
Oh.
Yeah. So, So I said, oh, man, if I'd known you had, I didn't even think about it, but that would have been a good thing for them to offer your kids tickets to the game.
Yeah.
And then that same weekend, FIU played Bethune Cookman.
Oh.
So would have been,
great.
Yeah. So it was great. So they were selling the tickets as like a combo package with a luncheon.
To have this. Mm-hmm. Oh, that's smart. That's smart.
Oh, well,
and we love
somebody else I'm going to get you together with.
Yes, please. We love things that are local, and so we also take them to, we take them to the games. We do normalcy things with them, locally as well, the Everglades, right? Just to give them that perspective and that ability to, see what's out there.
Yeah.
You don't know what's out there unless you go see it.
I know.
We took them to the beach once. We did a bus tour of Miami, and it was so cool because sitting in the bus, going over the causeway, and all the cruises were there, and all the gasps, and you just realize they don't see that very often. They're not getting over the causeway even. So.
When we take kids from inner city to Shake a Leg, some have never seen the water. Mm-hmm. And you think, what?
Yeah, I know.
And then to be able to go out.
Yeah.
Do you ever do anything with Shake a Leg?
So we've worked with Shake a Leg before.
Great.
Yeah. No, it's great. There are wonderful programs that all collaborate. We did a shark tagging program with the University of Miami. So there's just a lot of really great resources that we utilize here locally and, try to take them abroad as well.
So who comes up with all these ideas?
We have a manager of fun.
And you too?
Yes.
That sounds like the most fun job.
And her job is to plan all of these wonderful activities for our kids. We had salsa dancing on Saturday. We took an instructor to the group home, and they did a salsa dancing class. So again, it's, bringing some joy, and that's really what we love to do at Voices.
So group home, that what does that imply? A group home is?
A group home is a shift care. So they have a shift in the morning, a shift in the afternoon. It could be...
And how many people typically are in a group home?
It depends, but it's usually a campus. So we have several group homes in Miami-Dade County, and one is on more of a campus and has some houses on a campus. It could be 12 kids in a house to about 5 kids in a house. And then the other program we have is also larger. They have like bunk rooms. And the idea is that kids should only be there a little while until they find them another placement. But sadly, some of our kids end up there. I have 3 girls that we work with that they've been at that group home for over 2 years now. So...
And do they like it there?
No,
they don't like it there.
No. The food, it's not a place for them. They got their purses stolen that,
really?
I had purchased them purses for back to school, and they called and those had been stolen. So, again, it's not ideal, and there's a lot of trauma that happens. And listen, I don't think it's the group home's fault all the time either. It's just that is not a great placement for our kids. But oftentimes there's no other. So, foster parents is a huge need for foster parents. And Citrus Family Care Network actually is the one who licenses those foster homes. We brought a youth into our home who had turned 18. She had her senior year left. She's actually one that we just sent to a USF. I dropped her off and I did the whole thing, the 2 trips to Home Goods and Walmart, and we got her all set up. But she had her senior year. She turned 18 in September and, was going to really struggle through that senior year. So we were able to bring her into our home. And I learned a lot about just, the system. So it doesn't have to be where you're fostering babies. You can foster kids who maybe just need that senior year. And so that's great for empty nesters. It was a wonderful experience for our family. And, so I encourage people who really, been thinking about fostering or thinking about how they can help, getting involved. They can mentor through the Guardian Ad Litem program. They can be a guardian ad litem. They can volunteer for us in our comfort closet. They can help collect basic needs for kids. There are so many ways people can get involved in our system. And I just urge everybody,
and they can go to beavoice.org. beavoice.org.
That's
an easy one to remember too. See, I remembered it.
I love it.
Yeah. So, let's talk about the closet.
Yeah.
I was amazed at all the stuff you have in that closet. Yeah. I mean, literally, people, you have anything from toiletries and feminine care products to towels so anytime anybody wants to donate, or they're moving and maybe they have a bunch of stuff that doesn't make sense to move,
So we only take new items. That's part of our dignity for our kids. But everything. We will take, unopened soaps, shampoos, conditioners. We have a group of youth that are working on a project called Just One More. So if you go to Publix and you're going to buy a razor for yourself, buy a razor for, a pack of razors for our closet, or toothbrushes.
Take your one free and give it away.
Exactly. The BOGOs at Publix.
The BOGOs,
So all of those things. And, imagine coming into foster care and being placed and not knowing when you're going to get feminine products or how you're going to get feminine products. And,
I know,
and so definitely it's important that we continue to stock our closet. We also, diapers is a huge need,
and they're so expensive.
Yeah. About 40% of kids in foster care are 0 to 5. And many of those are the drug-exposed babies that come into care and are removed at birth. And so sometimes it's grandma who's taking the child overnight and didn't realize or a neighbor, or foster parent. So diapers is a big need. We also take formula. Sometimes they give parents formula in the hospital, and they nurse. They're nursing moms, so they don't need the formula. We will take that formula.
Right.
So all of those types of opportunities for stuff and for that dignity is definitely something that we would love to take from the community.
So, but you go into your website and it tells you everything you need.
It's all there. And so they can.
So let's talk about. Okay, so remind people the luncheon.
Yeah, so the luncheon's October 31st. It's
and
at
what
the
can
Lowe's.
they expect when they go?
fun and impact.
I know.
But it's also a really great opportunity to learn the state of our foster care system and to learn more about what is it that we need to do as a community, because we have a shared responsibility for these kids, right? They are kids and often, referred to in other countries as our orphans that are cared for. And so we really do need to care for these kids. And so you'll learn ways you can care for the kids. You'll learn about what's going on with our system, and a lot of fun.
But are you going to have
community leaders?
You're going to have face the jars?
We'll have all of those.
That's what I'm saying. There's a lot of activities associated with it. There's music all the time.
There's music. We have a DJ.
There's people doing stuff, interactive stuff.
Yes.
Yeah. It's before you even go into the luncheon.
Exactly.
You're having a great time.
Yes. Yeah. So we can guarantee a great time. So we have that. We have Give Miami Day that we really urge and would love for people to donate to Voices during. It's the 20th, I want to say.
Of November?
November 20th. I should know this. But
we all should.
I'm almost positive it's the 20th. Because the 21st is also National Adoption Day. So that is a day at Miami Children's Museum that Citrus Family Care Network puts together with all the agencies. And they finalize adoptions at the courthouse, which is I'm sorry, not the courthouse, at the Children's Museum, which is really great.
Is that right?
Yeah, I actually that was like my event when I used to work at the lead agency years and years ago.
Is that right?
Yeah, and so that was I guess over 15 years ago.
That must be.
It is. It's a beautiful day, really emotional. People, kids getting their forever families and those forever families becoming whole by those children. It's really it's a beautiful thing. So that's coming up. We also have our gala. So we're moving because the Mandarin is going to come down. And so we're going to be at the Ritz-Carlton Key Biscayne this year. Yeah, super excited about that. Great. That's January 10th.
Okay.
So we got a lot going on.
I got to put that on my calendar.
Yes. Yes. I look forward to having you.
I have my calendar under my column. No, I haven't gotten to January yet, but that'll.
There you go. Yeah, January 10th.
You have to send me your stuff.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah. Absolutely. So you're still looking for sponsors for everything?
So we're actually pretty sold out at the luncheon. Yes, but we still have space at the gala.
Yeah. So people wanting to do that. We ran out of time as usual. So thank you for everything you do for our community. South Florida PBS, thank you for sponsoring our show and allowing us to bring people like Kadie to let us know all the good work being done in our community. Till next time, have a good one, make a difference, and support the Voices for Children.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Have a wonderful day, everybody.
Okay, bye.